This video is part 13 of the Digital DJ Tips Learn to DJ email course. It's a free course and you can sign up for it if you're not a member of the course by going to digitaldjtips.com/join. By doing that, you'll get a weekly email with a tip. It will also contain further reading, links to a video for the week, and also a community discussion area so that you can talk to other people taking the course about that week's topic. Well worth joining, and it's free at digitaldjtips.com/join. So this week we're going to take a little break from looking at the world of DJing and instead look at a couple of the resources that are available to you on the Digital DJ Tips website. And the reason for that is that we've had quite a lot of people asking what the difference is between our two types of training. Now, if you're eagle-eyed, you might have noticed that we also have a paid-for training course. It's called How to Digital DJ Fast, and it's a 4.5-hour online video course. It's divided into 10 parts and that teaches you a different set of skills to the videos and to the training course that this is part of. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between the two courses so you can decide if paying for the training is better for you. And the way I wanted to talk to you about it was to tell you a story. And this story takes me back a little while to when I was first at college. And I wanted to be, more than anything else in the world, even more than a DJ, I wanted to be a music journalist. I was in a band and I was a songwriter, and it was back in the days when my home city of Manchester was the city in the whole wide world to be in when it came to music, and I seriously wanted to be writing about it, playing it, really involved in it to that kind of depth. And so I wanted to be a music journalist. And so I went along to the newspaper office for the college. There's a newspaper for the college I was at, and I wanted to be the music journalist, the music editor of that particular paper. So I went along in my first week at college, my first week away from home ever as well, very nervous young man, and sat in this big meeting and timidly put my hand up when they were calling out for people who wanted to put their names forward to be the music editor of this particular paper. And I fully expected to be one of hundreds of people, and then I would just kind of like slowly put my arm down and forget all thoughts of ever being a professional journalist. But actually, as it happened, there was only one other person who put their hand up, who was a girl called Abigail, who I got to know very well as we continued to work together in the future. But at that point, we'd never met. So this other person put her hand up, and we discussed very quickly that we'd actually quite like to do it together, to have someone else to be the music editor of this paper alongside. And so we both put our names forward, and there wasn't anyone else. We got the job. So outside the meeting, when we finally got away from all these experienced, journalists who'd been working on the paper for a couple of years, Abigail turned to me in complete panic, panic-stricken, scared girl, and said, "Phil, we've only just met. I haven't got a clue how to edit a newspaper. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I put my hand up. I'm so scared and I can't do this. I just can't do it." Me, being the personality I am, was really blasé, really almost arrogant, I'm ashamed to say. And I'm just kind of like, "Oh, don't worry, we'll be all right. We'll pick it up as we go along." You see, I'd wanted to be a music journalist for quite a long time. I'd read a lot of books about journalism written by some of the greats for a couple of years leading up to this point. This is something I've been working towards, and I was a little bit more confident than Abigail was, and what I needed was the chance to do it, whereas what Abigail needed was someone to help her do that job, and that someone was me. I was there to say, "Hey, come on, it's going to be all right." Now, as it turned out, we made a reasonable job of editing that section of the paper, and when the first paper came out, I remember there's a big pile of them in the Students' Union refectory, and there's a big pile of these pristine papers with plastic around them, and we ran in and cut them open and pulled one and looked at it, and we were so proud at our first efforts. And as soon as we looked at our work, as soon as we saw the finished results, it kind of all became clear. And it wasn't a very, very good first job, but the second job we did was really good. And in fact, 2 years later, I was lucky enough to go to London and be awarded the award for the most improved paper in the whole country. So, we got good at that, and we got good at it quite quickly. So where does this relate to my DJing course? Okay, a couple of ways of teaching. One way is to just open books, is to look at websites and to just absorb it all, let it all sink in. I did that for a couple of years before I took that job on a newspaper. I was reading books, I was going to the library, and I was absorbing the whole world of music journalism or journalism in general. And that's exactly what you're doing if you're following this course, this Learn to DJ free course that Digital DJ Tips has. If you're following our blog and the other blogs, and you're on our forum and you're on our Facebook page and you're on YouTube looking at ours and other people's videos, you're doing exactly what I was doing. You're doing your research, you're loving letting the whole world of DJing sink in. But if you put your hand up in a meeting and said, I want to be that person, well, you're in a different ballpark now. Now you're ready to have a go at it. And I don't know how experienced you are at that point. Now me, I've done a lot of reading, I was reasonably ready for that role, and I was ready to hold Abigail's hand and take the pair of us into the job as editors. As a DJ who puts his cards on the table and says, right, I want to DJ now. I don't want to hang around reading blogs, watching videos in my bedroom. I want to do it. I want to get out there and play a gig. If that's you, you're going to be one of two types of people. Me or Abigail. You're going to be like me, having followed a course like mine all the way through to the end and having read lots of blogs, and you're going to be reasonably confident you can do it. And in which case, go ahead, please go ahead and do it and come back and tell us how well you've done. I'd love to hear your stories. But if you're more like my friend Abigail was, you haven't got quite as much of the background, then you're going to need a little bit of help. And that's where my How to DJ course comes in. How to Digital DJ Fast is a course designed specifically for people who have said, I want to DJ quickly. In fact, it promises to teach you everything you need to know in 4 weeks. It's not like the course you've been watching here on the blog that is free. This course is more like the books that I had read leading up to taking that role. It's telling you the background, it's giving you further reading, it's giving you the flavours, it's letting everything sink into you so that you understand about the world of DJing. Whereas How to Digital DJ Fast, the paid for course, that tells you step by step what you need to know to get out there. It starts off by assuming you don't know anything. It says, this is the kind of gear you need. This is what you need to assemble. This is where you need to put it together. This is where to find the music. This is where to plug the damn thing in. This is when to start buying music, and this is when to put it in an order. This is when to start mixing it. Here's half a dozen ways that you can mix it. Here's how to make sure you're playing the right music for your crowd. And here, when you get to your first gig, here's how to plug your gear in. Here's how to behave. Here's how to stand behind the decks. Here is how to pull it off for that very first time. Once you've done that, you're a DJ. Once you've done that, you're like Abigail and I were when we opened our first paper, looked at the results, took a deep breath and went, right, we can do this now. Maybe you need that help. Maybe you've got people around you who can help you, who can put their hand on your shoulder, who can push you in the right direction, who can tell you that you're not being crazy, that you're not going wrong. And you don't need my training, but maybe you feel on your own. Maybe you feel like you need someone there to lead you through just to that first gig and to give you the confidence and the skills just to play that first hour or two in public. And then you just know you're going to be all right. Look, Abigail and I were both heavily into music. I was in a band, I was following the Manchester music scene. Abigail, it turned out, was the raver out of the two of us. She was following the very early techno scene in the north of England and was in with the record labels and was going out to the raves. We both had the skills, we both had the background to do what we wanted to do. You have the skills. I know you love your music. I know you're passionate about playing music in front of other people. That's not the issue. As long as you have that passion and that drive and that love for music, you've got what it takes. What you need is the practical helping hand to get you to that first gig. And that's what How to Digital DJ Fast will give you. And that's the difference between that training and all the other training and all the blog articles and all the other links that we give you. That's the big difference. It's a practical course to get you to your first gig. So I hope my story has helped to explain the difference between a couple of the products that we have here at Digital DJ Tips, and next week we're going to get back to diving into the world of digital DJing properly. Thanks for watching.